Gentlemen, let me ask you this. Have you noticed it's taking longer to get going than it used to? Maybe your energy isn't what it was a decade ago, or your confidence in the bedroom feels uncertain. You're not alone, and the truth is, there's a surprisingly simple, natural ritual that could help restore the strong, steady circulation you enjoyed years ago. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what it is, why it works, and how one small change each morning can transform the way you feel in just a few weeks, without pills, without awkward doctor visits, and without breaking the bank. Before we dive in, feel free to share your age or the decade you were born in, and let me know where you're watching from. It helps me understand who's listening and what stage of life you're navigating. And if this message speaks to you, hit that subscribe button so you never miss practical doctor-backed tips to keep you living stronger, longer, one day at a time. Now, let's get started. Gentlemen, picture this. You wake up tomorrow morning, walk into your kitchen and take just one spoonful of something so simple, you might already have it sitting on your counter. That's it. No complicated recipes, no expensive supplements, no awkward trips to the pharmacy. Just one spoon every morning. And within a matter of weeks, you notice a change. Your blood feels like it's moving with a new vitality. Your hands and feet feel warmer, your stamina is coming back, and the confidence you thought belonged to a younger man quietly returns. You look in the mirror and realize you're standing taller, breathing easier, and even carrying yourself differently because deep down you feel like yourself again. I've seen this happen countless times over the past 30 years in my work with men over 60. For 3 decades, I've sat across from men who came to me convinced they'd lost something permanently: strength, performance, desire, and I've watched that belief get shattered when they tried a simple, consistent morning ritual. This is not some magic bullet, it's rooted in hard science and in my years of clinical experience treating circulation problems and helping men rebuild what they thought was gone for good. And the best part? You don't need a prescription, you don't need surgery, and you certainly don't need to gamble on questionable online remedies. What I'm going to share with you is safe, natural, and backed by evidence, yet it's so often overlooked because it feels too simple to make a difference. But here's where it gets even more interesting. There's a small twist you can add to this habit that can multiply its effects by as much as 3 times. A tiny change in how you start your morning, so quick and easy, it barely takes a few minutes, yet powerful enough to create measurable improvements in your circulation, energy, and performance. Before we get there, though, you need to understand why this works so well. And that starts with a question most men never think to ask: what exactly happens to our circulation after 60 that makes all of this necessary? When a man in his early 60s comes into my office, the story's often the same. 10, maybe 20 years ago, he didn't think twice about his stamina or his performance. If he wanted to be intimate, his body responded without hesitation. A brisk walk, a round of golf, a day of yard work, none of it left him short of breath. But lately, things have changed. Erections that were once strong and effortless now take longer to happen, if they happen at all. His hands and feet feel colder, his endurance has dipped, and there's an underlying worry that creeps in before moments that used to feel natural. Sometimes he even avoids intimacy altogether, not because the desire is gone, but because he's not sure his body will follow through. The common assumption is that this is just what happens with age, an inevitable downhill slide. But that's not the whole truth. What's really going on begins deep inside your blood vessels in a delicate lining called the endothelium. This layer controls the opening and closing of your arteries, adjusting blood flow to meet your body's needs. Over the decades, it takes a beating. Years of a diet too heavy in processed foods, long stretches of sitting, chronic stress, and a slow-burning inflammation, you can't feel all of it, gradually damages the endothelium. The result: blood vessels become stiffer, narrower, and less responsive. And because the arteries supplying the penis are some of the smallest in the entire body, they're often the first to show trouble. Think of it like the plumbing in an old house. When pipes get clogged or the valves stop working smoothly, water can't flow the way it used to. In your body, that water is blood, and without healthy blood flow, nothing works the way it should. Not your energy, not your mental sharpness, and certainly not your intimate performance. The frustration this causes can chip away at more than just your physical health. It erodes confidence, impacts relationships, and makes you feel like you're watching a slow fade you can't stop. But here's the part. Most men don't hear from their doctor. Your endothelium can be repaired. Those blood vessels can regain flexibility. Circulation can be improved, and it doesn't require medication or invasive procedures to start making a difference. In fact, the first step toward turning it around is far simpler than most people imagine. It's something you can begin tomorrow morning in your own kitchen without spending a fortune, and it just might change the way you feel from the inside out. In a moment, I'll reveal exactly what that is, a natural time-tested ingredient hiding in plain sight, one that can help restore healthy blood flow, and with it, your energy and confidence. I can't tell you how many times I've heard a man sit down in my office, lean back in the chair and say, "Doc, I've tried everything." Usually what he means is that he's spent months, sometimes years, chasing pills, powders, and pricey treatments, each promising a quick fix but delivering either nothing at all or a short-lived improvement that fades away. And yet, when we dig deeper, there's almost always one thing he hasn't tried, simply because it's hiding in plain sight. I'm talking about extra virgin olive oil, pure first cold-pressed, single origin stored in dark glass to protect its potency. Not the cheap blended oils sitting in clear plastic bottles under harsh grocery store lights. Those have been stripped of their nutrients before they ever reach your kitchen. I mean the real thing, the kind valued for centuries as a cornerstone of the Mediterranean diet, long before superfoods became a marketing trend. High-quality EVOO is not just a cooking oil, it's a medicinal food. It's packed with polyphenols, those powerful plant compounds that act like tiny repair crews for your blood vessels. These polyphenols help reduce oxidative stress, repair microscopic damage to the endothelium, and restore flexibility to stiffened arteries. Alongside them, EVOO delivers antioxidants and heart-healthy monounsaturated fats that support optimal blood flow from head to toe. In my own practice, I've seen men who were frustrated, skeptical, even ready to give up turn a corner within weeks of adding just one spoonful of high-quality EVOO to their morning routine. They reported improved energy levels, more stable blood pressure, and a return of the physical confidence they hadn't felt in years. It's almost always met with surprise. How could something so ordinary outperform treatments costing hundreds, even thousands of dollars? But that's the beauty of it. When something works in harmony with your body's own repair systems, the results are often more profound and more sustainable than anything forced upon it. This is why I tell my patients, don't underestimate the basics. Sometimes the most effective solution isn't exotic, rare, or complicated. It's been there all along, waiting for you to use it correctly. And EVOO is a perfect example of that. Still, understanding that it works isn't the same as understanding how it works. So let's break it down, because when you see what this oil is doing inside your body, you'll understand why a single spoonful can have such a wide-reaching effect on your health and vitality. Almost without fail, when I explain the mechanism behind EVOO to a patient, I see the same reaction: a slow nod, a dawning realization followed by, "Why didn't anyone tell me this before?" And I get it. Too often we separate what we eat from how our most vital systems function, especially when it comes to male performance. But in reality, the connection is direct and powerful. At the heart of it all is something called nitric oxide. This is the chemical messenger your body uses to tell blood vessels, "Relax, open up, let the blood flow." Without enough nitric oxide, even the strongest desire won't translate into a strong performance because the blood simply can't get where it needs to go. EVOO's polyphenols, particularly compounds like all-european and hydroxytyrosol, actively support nitric oxide production. Think of them as oiling the hinges on a rusty door. Suddenly, the door swings open smoothly again, allowing blood to reach every part of the body efficiently, including where it matters most for intimacy. But EVOO's benefits don't stop at blood flow. The healthy monounsaturated fats it contains are critical for hormone stability, especially testosterone. Testosterone is the fuel for a man's energy drive and sexual function, and when levels drop or fluctuate wildly, everything slows down. EVOO provides the building blocks your body needs to keep testosterone levels steady, so you're not just improving circulation, but also reinforcing the very hormonal foundation of your vitality. And here's something many people overlook. These same fats enhance the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K, which play vital roles in immune strength, bone density, and cellular repair. In other words, that spoonful of EVOO is working on multiple fronts at once, repairing your vascular system, stabilizing your hormones, and ensuring your body can fully utilize key nutrients. The most striking thing is how interconnected all these systems are. Healthier blood vessels mean better delivery of hormones and nutrients. Balanced hormones mean more energy to be active, which in turn keeps blood vessels flexible and strong. It's a feedback loop that builds on itself, and EVOO helps set that loop in motion. This is why I tell men a simple, consistent habit like this doesn't just chip away at one problem, it strengthens the entire foundation of your health. But as with any powerful tool, the details matter. The way you take it, the timing, the quality. All of these factors can make the difference between a noticeable improvement and no change at all. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about next: how to use this oil in a way that unlocks its full potential. Over the years, I've seen men rush out to buy a bottle of extra virgin olive oil after hearing about its benefits, only to come back weeks later saying, "Doc, I don't feel any different." When I ask how they've been using it, I hear the same mistakes again and again: drizzling it over a heavy dinner, mixing it into rich sauces, or worse, grabbing the cheapest bottle off the supermarket shelf without reading the label. The truth is, with EVOO, how you take it matters just as much as taking it at all. The first rule is quality, and here you have to be ruthless. Look for 100% extra virgin, first cold-pressed, single-origin olive oil packaged in a dark glass bottle to protect it from light. If the label doesn't say those exact words, keep looking. Cheap blends or refined oils have been stripped of the very polyphenols and antioxidants you need for results. The second rule is timing. To get the full benefit, take your spoonful first thing in the morning on an empty stomach before coffee, before breakfast, before anything else passes your lips. This way, your body can absorb those powerful compounds directly without interference from other foods. You're giving your system the purest shot of vascular support it can get. And here's a simple upgrade that can make that shot even stronger. Add a small squeeze of fresh lemon juice for vitamin C, which works hand in hand with EVOO to support nitric oxide production, and a tiny pinch of freshly ground black pepper, which contains piperine to enhance nutrient absorption. These small additions might seem trivial, but they can tip the scales from mild benefit to game-changing. Finally, none of this matters if you treat it like a 3-day experiment. The men who see the biggest transformations are the ones who commit. 1 spoon every morning without fail. This isn't a quick fix. It's a quiet act of maintenance, a daily investment that compounds over time. And here's the part: most people don't realize the way you take that spoon each morning isn't just about physical health. For many men, it becomes a powerful ritual, a signal to themselves that they're taking back control. Which brings us to something deeper than blood vessels or polyphenols. I've had men sit across from me, lower their voices, and share things they've never told anyone else. They talk about the frustration of wanting intimacy but not being able to follow through. About making excuses to avoid situations where their performance might be tested because the fear of failing feels worse than the disappointment itself. They talk about pulling away from their partners not because they don't care, but because they don't feel like the man they once were. And as the weeks turn into months, it's not just their sex life that suffers, it's their confidence, their relationships, even their sense of identity. Poor circulation doesn't just affect your body, it quietly rewrites the way you see yourself. It can make you less likely to engage socially, less willing to take on challenges, and more resigned to a smaller life. But here's where something as simple as a spoon of EVOO in the morning can mean more than it seems. It's not just a nutrient boost, it's a daily reminder that you still have agency over your health, that you can still take steps to improve, that you're not finished yet. Each morning when you take that spoon, you're sending a signal to yourself: I'm still in the game. I still care. I'm investing in my future. And the effect isn't just internal. When you start feeling better, your partner notices. Friends notice. The way you carry yourself changes. The conversations you're willing to have change. It's a ripple effect that starts with a simple action but extends into every corner of your life. And while this habit is safe and effective for most men, it's important to make sure it's the right fit for you before you begin. That means knowing a few key safety considerations, because even the most natural solutions need to be approached with care. That's exactly what we'll cover next. There's one golden rule I remind every patient of before they start any new habit. Just because something is natural doesn't mean it's right for everyone. Extra virgin olive oil is one of the healthiest foods you can put in your body, but there are situations where a little caution can go a long way. If you have gallstones or certain digestive issues, taking oil on an empty stomach could cause discomfort or even trigger a flare-up. In those cases, it's better to adjust the approach rather than power through and risk making things worse. And if you're currently taking medications for heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, or any other chronic condition, your first step should always be a conversation with your doctor. Even natural compounds can interact with prescription drugs in ways you might not expect, and it's better to be safe than sorry. If you've been diagnosed with significant vascular disease or advanced erectile dysfunction caused by nerve damage, EVOO alone isn't going to reverse that. You'll need a more comprehensive treatment plan tailored to your situation, and EVOO can be one part of it, not the whole solution. And let me emphasize again, quality matters. Low-grade blended or refined oils don't just lack the beneficial compounds we've been talking about. They can also contain impurities you don't want in your body. Using the wrong oil isn't harmless. It's not just a waste of time. It can actively work against your health goals. The good news is that for most men, starting is straightforward. If you're unsure how your body will respond, begin with just half a teaspoon and work your way up. If you notice any discomfort, try taking it with a small piece of toast instead of on an empty stomach. The goal here is to help your body not stress it. Once you've made sure it's safe for you, you're ready to unlock its full potential, and that's where one small, often overlooked step can take your results from good to exceptional. Here's something most men miss: what you do immediately after taking your EVOO can make a big difference in how well it works. The simple step I'm talking about is moving your body just 5 minutes of light walking right after you've had your morning spoonful. No treadmill, no gym membership, no special shoes required, just your own 2 feet and a commitment to use them. This movement acts like a pump, encouraging blood to flow through your entire circulatory system, carrying those polyphenols and healthy fats to every corner of your body, including the smallest and most vital arteries. When you combine EVOO with light movement, you're creating a powerful synergy. The oil supports nitric oxide production, helping your blood vessels relax and open, while the walking stimulates your circulation and ensures those nutrients get delivered exactly where they're needed. It's a 1-2 punch that primes your cardiovascular system for the day ahead. And it works at any age. I've seen men in their 70s and 80s notice a real difference in just a few weeks when they add this step. Think of it as turning on the engine after topping up the fuel. The EVOO fills your system with the raw materials for better blood flow, and the movement gets that system running at full capacity. And because it's so easy, there's no reason not to make it part of your routine. 5 minutes every morning, and you're setting yourself up not just for better circulation, but for more energy, more confidence, and a better quality of life. Now, with all the pieces in place, understanding the why, choosing the right oil, using it correctly, staying safe, and adding this final boost, it's time to bring it all together into a single, simple plan. You can start tomorrow. We've covered a lot today. You now understand why circulation naturally declines after 60, the silent role your endothelium plays in that process, and the overlooked power of high-quality extra virgin olive oil to help reverse it. You know how it works inside your body, boosting nitric oxide, supporting testosterone stability, and improving nutrient absorption. You've learned the right way to take it: 1 full spoon every morning on an empty stomach before coffee or breakfast, ideally with a squeeze of fresh lemon and a pinch of black pepper. You've seen why quality matters: 100% extra virgin, first cold-pressed, single origin in a dark glass bottle, and why consistency is everything. And you've discovered the simple 5-minute walk that supercharges the effect, turning a small morning ritual into a powerful daily upgrade for your circulation, your energy, and your confidence. But here's the part I hope you remember most. This isn't just about olive oil. It's about taking back control of your health and refusing to let age dictate your story. That spoon each morning is more than a habit. It's a decision, a promise to yourself that you still care, that you're still in the game, that you're still building a life worth living. When you feel that change inside, more warmth in your hands and feet, more energy in your day, more certainty in your intimate moments, You'll realize it's not just your circulation that's improving, it's your entire outlook. So here's my challenge to you. Start tomorrow morning. Choose the best oil you can find. Take that spoon on an empty stomach, add the lemon and pepper, if you'd like, then put on your shoes and walk for 5 minutes. Do it every day. Give your body a reason to respond, and it will. And if you're ready for even more natural science-backed ways to keep your blood flowing strong and your vitality high, make sure you don't miss the next video. We'll dive into other morning habits and foods that work hand in hand with EVOO to keep you thriving well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond.